On this Ford F150 2.7 EcoBoost, P0201 is a cylinder 1 direct fuel injector circuit fault. In plain terms, the PCM may not be seeing the injector driver circuit behave the way it expects. The truck may have a rough idle, a miss, a no start, or it may only set the code. The possible fault areas are the injector wiring, the injector itself, or the PCM. Treat this like an electrical circuit diagnosis, not a part swap job. Start by checking codes. If the direct injector circuit fault is present, stay on this injector circuit path. If that code is not present, but the complaint is no start, rough idle, or a miss, this same path can still help. For other complaints without the injector circuit fault, move back to symptom-based diagnosis instead of forcing this test path. Key on, get into the PCM data, and watch the injector fault PID for the affected circuit, along with the overall injector fault mode PID. For P0201, focus on the cylinder 1 injector information and the circuits that apply to that component. If the PID shows a concern, move straight to harness testing. If the PID does not show a concern, run the power balance test and make sure the low-pressure fuel system is operating correctly before blaming the injector circuit. If the power balance result is satisfactory, the system is operating correctly at that time, and you need to continue by symptom. If it is not satisfactory, keep going into the injector circuit checks. If the scan tool test is not available on that vehicle, continue to the next diagnostic step. Now run the engine at normal operating temperature and watch the same injector fault data. Wiggle, shake, and bend small sections of the harness, working from the suspect injector back toward the PCM. Do not just shake the whole harness at once. Move in small sections so you can localize the fault. If the PID shows a concern while you move the harness, repair the wiring consent as necessary, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If the PID stays clean, continue into the hard circuit checks. With the ignition off, disconnect the direct injector connector and the PCM connector. For the cylinder 1 injector circuit on this path, check continuity between C1232E pin 108 and C1561 pin 1. Then between C1232E pin 87 and C1561 pin 2. The resistance needs to be less than 5 ohms. If it is less than 5 ohms, continue. If it is not less than 5 ohms, repair the open circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test.
Next, with the ignition off, check the same cylinder 1 injector and return circuits for a short to ground at C1561 pin 1 and C1561 pin 2. A passing result is greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is not greater than 10,000 ohms, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. Before trusting that result, make sure your meter reference point is confirmed. If it is not clear at the vehicle, pause, recheck the earlier diagnostic path, and avoid guessing. Then turn the ignition on and check those same 2 circuits for a short to voltage. If any voltage is present, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If no voltage is present, turn the ignition back off and check between C1561 pin 1 and C1561 pin 2. That check also needs to be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is not, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If the wiring passes, check the injector resistance at the component side between C1561 pin 1 and C1561 pin 2. The injector needs to be between 1 ohm and 3 ohms. If it is outside that range, install a new fuel injector, reset cam, and repeat the self-test. If it is within 1 ohm to 3 ohms, but the earlier power balance test pointed to a fuel injector concern, install a new fuel injector as necessary, reset cam, clear the PCM codes, and repeat the self-test. If the injector resistance is in range and the power balance did not isolate the injector, continue to the PCM connector check. For the final check, disconnect all PCM connectors and inspect for pushed-out pins and corrosion. Reconnect every PCM connector and make sure each one is fully seated. Then verify whether the concern is still present. If the concern is gone, the system is operating correctly at this time, and the fault may have been caused by a loose or corroded connector.
If the concern is still present after the wiring, injector, and connector checks have passed, this path calls for a new PCM and RVC generation. After any repair, keep verification separate from testing. Clear the codes where called for, repeat the self-test, and confirm P0201 stays gone. Takeaway: prove the circuit first, prove the injector second, and only then condemn the controller. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.